I'm sat with Mark McCall, the Director of Beat the Seat. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Steph.
Mark, before we get into your company and its objectives, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've ended up here?
Okay, I'm going to bore you for the next 20 minutes. I started off as an osteopath about 20 years ago, and I'm now a member of the Sedentary Behaviour Research Network, which is called the SBRN, and the NCORE, which is National Council of Osteopathic Research as well. And my, I suppose, expertise lies in sedentary behaviour, which is why I'm board members of those two things. The osteopath thing flourished into what we're going to be talking about now.
And here you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Beat the Seat.
Beat the Seat.
As mentioned, it's a very easy name to remember.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us what the main objectives of the company are and what's the offering, or who is the offering mainly aimed at?
Okay. It's a big question because what we have to do is educate a lot of people about the difference between exercise activity and physical activity and sedentary activity. So essentially what we've got to do is convince people that there is another, if you like, physiology to what their body does. So their body acts completely differently to when it's active as to when it's sedentary. So one can't offset the other. In other words, being sitting has to be seen in its own right. It can't be offset by exercise. You have to beat sitting, which is why we call it beat the seat. So we have to change the culture of our relationship with the chair. Not get rid of the chair, just change our relationship with it. And that's what we do. So it's behaviour change. And because it's behaviour change, it takes a little bit longer than, say, buying a new desk or a new chair or whatever. So I say it takes a bit longer. We're on site with a company for 6 weeks because it's all about changing the culture from bottom up, top down. So it's, and it makes a big difference to us if the company that we're with has got a really good ethic anyway. So they want to take care of that. We work a lot with companies who've got staff, office-based staff, and desk-based staff. So it's if the management want to take care of their staff, then it makes a huge difference to us and makes it a lot easier for us to do our job.
And you've said there about office staff, so just a thought popped into my head there. Is this as relevant for coach, lorry, bus drivers?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who's sitting, and the problem isn't sitting, the problem is prolonged sitting, and what I mean by prolonged sitting is anything over half an hour.
Yeah.
Research is still pretty
sketchy?
I wouldn't say it's not really in deep, but so the best we've got to go with at the moment is half an hour. After half an hour, your body, your muscle tissue especially, starts to work completely differently, which is why I was saying before about the physiologies being different between activity and sedentary. As soon as we sit down, I'm now going to bore you with a bit of science, but as soon as after half an hour, our muscle tissue, there's a lot of controversy about whether muscles are even organs because they produce so many hormones.
Yeah.
So one thing that happens is after half an hour they stop producing hormones, and one of the protective hormones that they produce is called lipoprotein lipase, which goes around your body and sucks up all the bad fats. Your muscle tissue also isn't working, so it doesn't need blood glucose. However, your glucose stays in your blood, so there's a peak in blood glucose, there's a peak in lipoprotein, blood fats, no lipoprotein lipase, all those kind of things. And so for no time at all, we're talking about a completely different body makeup, different chemicals going around your body, and that can't be undone by exercise.
Right.
It can only be undone by changing. As soon as you stand up, it's like a light switch going off. Your muscles start to work again. Everything rebalances. It's really quick, but that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the thing we've got to convince people of, is that you can't sit for 9 hours a day and then go to the gym for an hour and it won't work. It will work as far as getting your, if you want to lose a bit of weight, if you want to delay the onset of certain other things, but large, horrible disease like diabetes and even cancers, cardiovascular disease, strokes, all kinds of things, you are putting yourself in severe danger of developing those if you sit for long periods of time and then go to the gym. You cannot offset the one with the other. They both have to be seen as two different health hazards in their own right.
I'm fascinated by that. Having spent most of my life in big corporate jobs.
I'm not meaning to scare you.
No, I mean seriously. That's a misconception I had. If I walked to work, then sat down and then walked home But no, they are two completely different things.
Physiology. You cannot offset the one with the other. You have to address them separately. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Fascinating.
And it's really fascinating, but it's really simple. But the big thing that we've got to overcome is the normalisation of sitting behaviour. So everywhere there's chairs, everywhere there's seats, everywhere. I mean, if you go, one thing to do that you go, whenever you go on the tube or the train or whatever, and everyone rushes to get a seat. Don't get a seat because you're prolonging your life. It's as simple as that.
Just stand up more.
Just stand up more.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Amazing. You're going to talk in a minute about kind of what you're going to do for businesses and how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
But right now, from your research, which you've just sort of leaned on there, is there any country, city in the world that is getting this right at the moment?
Yeah. No one's getting it right, but the pioneers really are Australia. They've got a Stand Up Victoria campaign. Victoria obviously being one of the states in Australia. Yeah. And it's all about. It's been run by the IDI, which is it's basically an anti-diabetes. It's a government-funded diabetes charity, and they have done huge amounts of work about how to change people's behaviour. Not about the change, not about the chair. Sorry, it's about our relationship to the chair and that. So incentivizing people by using reward systems, gamification, lots of different things. And their research has based a lot of what the rest of the world is doing. So America are big on it, Canada are big on it, but no one is producing as much good quality research as Australia, especially one guy called Professor David Dunson, who's the head of the IDI, if you like.
Yeah. So amazing. So Victoria, Australia, getting it right.
Getting there.
Yeah.
They haven't. The thing about you look at, this will sound really counterintuitive, but you look at the populace of Australia and you think, oh, they're going to be lots of healthy people. I think they're the third most obese country in. I know. It's just bonkers. Yeah. So they are really. You get really high. I don't know. 1 or 2%, like elite athletes and always out and you get a lot of people who just don't do anything because it's too hot, so just stay in and just
hence
don't do anything. Hence obesity, and hence the reason why Australia is so big on it is because diabetes is a big thing for them.
Right.
It's because of the amount of obesity they've got.
And I mean, again, I love the name Beat the Seat. I just love that name. And as I was finishing my working career 2 to 3 years ago, working from home was very prevalent, and is becoming more so. Yeah. So your offerings must relate to these home workers as well, surely.
Absolutely. What I want to do, because no one, including Stand Up Victoria, is doing this, is create a pilot, if you like, of really simple things that can be followed no matter where you are, at home, at work, whatever. It doesn't cost much. You have to just change things a little bit, and to do that, that's people like the comfort zone, and we're going to kind of inconvenience them a little bit and try and tell them the why you have to inconvenience, which is why the education is so important.
Absolutely.
You can't stand kind of telling people what to do. They just will do it for a week and then not do it anymore.
So people listening to this want to get in touch with Mark McCall at Beat the Seat. How do they?
They do it by phone on 01243 767 339. Internet info@beattheseat.co.uk, or you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and we've got a YouTube channel as well.
Fantastic. So, Mark, I know we're going to look to run a pilot in Portsmouth. Whether we call that Stand Up Portsmouth or not, I don't know.
Oh, we're going to call it Shaping Portsmouth. How can we not?
How can we not? But if I spin the dice for a year, where do you hope to be with your company in a year's time?
I hope to be on Wogan, telling everybody about the day. No, to be honest, I want to be along. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I want to make Portsmouth a really healthy city, and it's really easy to make it a healthy city. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Portsmouth hasn't got a lot of money, but what it does have is good people. So make it, if you like, a beacon of health.
Yeah.
And that's where I'd like to be in a year's time.
As you know, ditto that as well. So I look forward to working with you on it. Mark,
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.